So after reading Mr. Hendrick's post about dating with schizophrenia, I learned a ton of stuff I didn't know. And so I'll share that. So as for like the stigmas and stereotypes, how that affected his willingness to date, I saw there's kind of like two pathways he talked about. The first being, the interrogation is what I'll call it. Where, the date's going well, you're talking about it, and all of a sudden they find out you have schizophrenia or this disorder, and it's 1,000 questions. And he goes over some of the questions. Some of the ones that stuck out were like, "Are you dangerous?" is one of the ones he said, and in a sense of like, like relationships and willing to seek out. I feel like if I'm going out with people and they find out that I had schizophrenia, I don't, but if they found out I did, me being asked, am I dangerous over and over and over and over again, or am I crazy over and over again? It would hurt. Like, I get that they don't know about it and like, it's ignorance, right? But it still hurts. Like, I could see why that would chip away at like your willingness to go on a relationship if people are sitting here, it's 1,000 questions and it goes from a date to an interrogation. So that's the first one. The second one was the sympathizer. So he talks about it like when someone finds out, or when he tells a female or whoever he's dating, I have schizophrenia, it turns into this, oh my gosh, well, I'm suffering from this and this and this and this, and oh, I'm doing this and this and this and this, and oh, my brother had this, and my cousin had this, and my cousin's dog did this, and one time this kid I knew in the 4th grade, he had this too, and I remember how he acted, and it was crazy, but I was friends with him. And once again, I feel like for me, that would be, that I could see how that would get annoying on a date if every time someone, you said that, everybody's like, oh, well, that's not that bad because I did this and this and this and this and this. Or, my cousin had this, like I said before. But for him, he says, like, okay, he gets it, but, like, once you start confessing all these things you have, he said, in his mind, he said, well, it stops being a date and starts being, like a friendship thing. He stops looking at you in a romantical sense and looks at you like, I'm your shoulder to cry on about your problems. And I love how he was positive and said, that's not a problem. Like, I'm willing to do that. I'm not going to turn you away. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to make fun of you. Like, none of that. But the date is kind of over at that point. And then there's just no, I guess, romantic side to the date anymore. So it's funny because I guess what I learned is that I feel like these are all, the things he says are all things that we don't like as well. And so I thought it was funny that just because he has a disorder that he didn't choose, that people think it's okay to treat him like that. I tried to put myself in his shoes, and like if I went on a date, I trip over my words and I stutter a little bit. How would I feel if someone pointed out, oh, you do this or this or this every single time? And it would get really annoying, like I could not see because I don't have schizophrenia, but I can kind of see where he's coming from. There I am sympathizing, but like, I get it. Like, it would be annoying. Like, after putting myself in his shoes, it would be annoying. So that's one of the big things I learned. And then moving on to the next thing, if I were to date someone, if I were to date a young lady who had schizophrenia, I think prior to reading this, I'm a questioner. I would ask a lot of questions more than likely. And kind of not prodding questions like, are you dangerous? But like, what was that like growing up with that? Like, I would want to know the whole backstory. And now I get that might not be like first date etiquette. So moving forward, I would just try and show them the same respect that I show everybody. They show me. Cause like I said, their disability doesn't make them not a person or not a normal person. They're just going through something that I'm not, and I'm going through stuff they're not. So, we're kind of the same. So those are the things I found interesting about the letter.